HST's Business Continuity Today, hosted by Todd River, planning is
Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are at. And my name is Todd DeVoe, and I am the Director of Emergency Management for Titan HST. And I'm also a professor at the secondary level. And I love learning things and sharing what I learn. And this is why we're here today. And, well, one of the things that have been really coming across my mind lately is supply chain and some of the issues that we're seeing here today. I'm going to tell a personal story today, and I think that you guys will resonate with you of some of the issues that come with supply chain. So, I was looking for a new car, and I found one. I'm pretty excited about that. And when I was looking through this, I was talking to many different dealerships, like you do, like you're in your homework, and each one of them kept saying the same thing. One is there's this thing called it's a price adjustment going up, not in our favor for sure, regarding because of the lack of inventory that is out there for new cars. And this lack of inventory is due to a couple of different interesting things. One is, we've talked about this or heard about this before, is the computer chip shortage that is coming due to, I don't know, manufacturing issues that are occurring according to some of the reports from COVID, still to this day. And the other side of it too is interesting, is that the war in Ukraine, or in Ukraine and Russia, I should say, is having an impact on this particular manufacturer who gets parts from Russia. They're no longer importing those parts from Russia. And so they're actually going to reduce the number of vehicles that they're producing starting mid-April. And so everybody kept saying the prices of these vehicles are going to go up. So going through and looking for these vehicles, finding the one I wanted, and then I got a pretty decent deal on it, I can say. But the idea here is that simple things like this, right, of a supply chain are really impacting everyday decisions that you have to make. And as a business, you have to be forecasting those disruptions in the supply chain, right? Especially if you're in manufacturing, and how that is going to impact your business and your customers. Or on the other side of it too, is can your suppliers, right, bring in parts and pieces to you, right? If that's disrupted, how is that going to impact your ability to manufacture or to be able to put a product out? Right. And so we have to start preparing for an unstable supply chain. And we've seen stories after story. Wall Street Journal has a really great documentary out that they put out in March 29th, I think was when it was released, regarding the supply chain. And what they did is they followed a USB charger, right, from its origins in Vietnam across the ocean to its final destination in Middle America. And all the way, right, there are supply chain issues, right? So whether it's from the manufacturer to the ship, from the ship to the port of Los Angeles or the port of Long Beach, where about 40% of all, which I learned that, of all cargo comes through there, then it gets shipped from Long Beach to the Inland Empire, to distribution centers, into trucks. It goes out to other areas, such as another Amazon distribution center, for instance, and then from there to the last place, to the home of the person who bought this. So that little idea of that 24 hours or sometimes same day shipping that you get from Amazon, right, really takes this whole process through the supply chain. Now, when we see the disruptions in the supply chain, the ability to get your equipment or get your piece that you're purchasing, whatever you're looking for, can go from a 24-hour period, or same day in some cases, to weeks, maybe months, or maybe years, right? Depending on what this is going on. And this is what we're seeing today with a lot of the manufacturing in the auto side of things, is that cars are no longer on the lot, right? What they are is they are, you have to order them, they're building them. In some cases, they're not building them. And so what does that do? That drives the prices up. And some people are saying that it's artificially driven up. I don't believe that's the case necessarily, but they're driving the prices up of vehicles. They're driving the prices up of fuel, which is driving the prices up of other items as well, right? Which is, I think, is really kind of an interesting concept here. That as we start to see all these prices going up, is it when I say manufactured, is it to the fact of supply chain having issues that are causing these prices to go up, or is it just regular inflation, or is it a combination of all these things together? So, regardless of the industry, you need a plan, and you need to have a plan for decision making should you have a reduction or an issue with supply chain. And one of the things that you need to be doing is, again, I love using this term, I really believe in it, is leaning forward and seeing what is going on in the world, right? So you cannot just be in your office, just hanging out, doing whatever you're doing, and not really pay attention to what's happening across the world, because we are truly in a global economy. Now, people will start talking about the concept of a global economy as if it's something new, but realistically, it's been around for thousands of years, right? Rome participated in the global economy. Britain participated in the global economy. This is why they had all of their colonies. And a matter of fact, the United States was one of those areas that produced raw goods for Britain, right? For their manufacturing. So it's nothing that's new, but what's new about it is that the time from raw material to production has shrunken, and the idea and the fast how fast we can ship things has shrunk, right? So it really has this like impact. So realistically, there isn't the ability to be nimble necessarily if you're putting, for lack of a better term, all your eggs in one basket, right? And so what you're seeing now is companies who are leaning forward, right, are actually having multiple areas of manufacturing, whether it's in China, Thailand, Taiwan, Vietnam, Malaysia, these areas that they're spreading factories into this area. So they're not necessarily going to be impacted by one area that's having a problem. Now, we should divest that idea here as well when it comes to planning for your disruptions here in the United States, or for your company if you're in other parts of the world, right? As how do you really break that up so you won't be impacted as much? The other side of it too is what we just kind of put in here in the title, is the concept of having a nimble and agile decision making process, and being able to have decisions being made at the lowest level, right? And having trust in your organization and the people that you hire to be able to make quality decisions. Now, on the other side of that too is giving proper training and education to those that are in those decision making authority positions, right? Because being nimble is critical, right? Now let's put this into a perspective of a disaster as well, right? So you add like a natural disaster or COVID or whatever. We've all lived through this. We all understand this, right? And having that additional stressors put on to the organization, being able to be looking forward and being nimble to be able to make those decisions allows you to stay afloat. And in some cases, you see, and we've seen those organizations that were rigid, did not have that flexibility, and were not agile, right? Broke during this COVID um, time, right? The companies that were agile, flexible, and nimble, all right, were those that are now thriving and striving during these times. So even though the concept of the um, unstable supply chain, right, is a real thing to think about, you do not have to be broken by the unstable supply chain if you have an agile decision making process, right? And to be able to lean forward on this, you too will be able to maybe thrive during this time or strive during this time, right? But definitely not break during this time of the unstable supply chain. So now it's time to go back and take a look at your plans, at your disaster plans, at your business continuity plans, and to see where you can actually loosen the reins to be able to have decisions being made at the lowest level. Let's put this in another context. In the military, right, we have the reason why we do so well, right, in the American military is our NCOs, our non commissioned officers. What does that mean? That we allow them to make decisions at the lowest level. In the Marine Corps and Navy, it's the E4 level that they are considered non-commissioned officers. Army, I think it's E5 if I remember correctly. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure about the Air Force. I don't think they make decisions. Just joking, Air Force. Just joking. So that being said, we, our non-commissioned officers, truly are the backbone of our services, and they have the ability to make decisions at this time and are trained to do so. And that is the difference. And if the American and Western companies, right, take a look at that model and to be able to give decisions making ability at your lowest level to your managers down there, you will be nimble, you'll be agile, and you'll be able to survive and thrive during that supply chain breakdown. Well, everybody, thank you so much for spending time with me today. And as always, please stay safe. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. I just got reminded. Don't forget to follow us on your favorite podcast player, on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And as always, please look at Titan HST for all your communication needs. And stay safe and stay hydrated.